Okay, so I'm just going to read it here. Hello, Connor. My name is Jack. I'm going to walk you through this session today. Before we begin, I have some information for you, and I'm going to read it to make sure that I cover everything. Okay. You probably already have a good idea of why we've asked you here, but let me go over it again briefly. We're asking people to try our prototype. We've been working on so we can see whether it works as intended. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The session should take about 30 minutes. The first thing I want to make clear right away is that we're testing the prototype, we're not testing you, okay? So you can't do anything wrong. In fact, this is probably the one place today where you don't have to think or really care about making any mistakes. So, make as many mistakes as you want. No worries. As you use the prototype, I'm going to ask you as much as possible to think out loud and say what you're looking at, what you're trying to do, and what you're thinking. This will be a big help. Okay. Mm-hmm. Also, please don't worry that you're going to hurt our feelings. We're trying to improve the prototype, so we need to hear your honest opinions. Okay. If you have any questions as we go along, just ask them. I may not be able to answer them right away, since we're interested in how people do when they don't have someone sitting next to them to help. But if you still have any questions when we're done, I'll try to answer them then. And if you need to take a break at any point, just let me know. You may have noticed we are recording. With your permission, we're going to record what's happening on the screen and our conversation. This recording will only be used to help figure out how to improve the app, and it won't be seen by anyone apart from us and people in IITT. And it helps me because I don't have to take any notes, okay? If you would, I'm going to ask you to sign a simple form to your right, which I think you've already seen. Mm-hmm. It just says that we have your permission to record you and that the recording will only be seen by people working on the project, okay? Mm-hmm. So there's a form there, and you've already signed it. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a few warm questions, very easy ones. Okay, what's your occupation?
I am a junior web developer.
Okay, great. Now, roughly how many hours a week altogether, ballpark figure, would you spend on the internet, would you say?
A lot. Obviously, with the job, I'm on it the whole time, so that's pretty much whatever, 9 to 5, Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I'm on it at home. I don't know how many hours that would work out at.
Okay.
But a good proportion of the day, yes.
Okay, and what would be split between, I suppose, email and browsing? What would be your split between those, you think?
Between email and browsing?
Yeah.
Mostly browsing, I guess.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Not a huge amount of email.
Okay. And what kind of sites would you normally use? Apps would you use the most?
What apps would I use the most? Or websites, sorry.
Both, yeah.
Both. I suppose websites, I'll mostly research for the job, I suppose, especially because I'm still quite new to this kind of profession. So, I'm usually researching different design techniques and development techniques and about WordPress plugins and things like that. Apps, I don't use apps a huge amount because I don't really play computer games and things like that that much. I used to, I suppose, years ago, but not so much. And not that all apps are computer games, I'm not suggesting that at all, but just that's a big portion of them gone out already. But I think the ones I use the most would be the train app, I think it's Irish Rail one that I use, and the Dublin Bus one actually as well. Would you believe I'd use that quite often? I use an app called DSub to access my music collection. So it's generally things. I generally use apps when I absolutely need to get information from something or whatever. I don't really. I'm not just on them for any other reason.
Okay, would you have any favourite ones?
Favourite ones?
Dublin Bus, maybe.
They're useful. I guess DSub would be my favourite one because I sort of have my music on this server and it accesses that, and so that would probably be my favourite. But the others, they're useful rather than sort of anything to get excited about.
Okay, thanks so much. That's great. So we're done with the few questions there. If you could just scroll up and find the XD at the top. Oops.
There it is up
No,
there.
there, yeah. 2 seconds. And then I'll just load it up. Any second now. Okay. Okay. So before you do anything here, I'm just going to ask you to kind of look at the screen and explain what you see, and just give me a kind of a narrative of what you see there so far.
Okay. So I sort of see the header at the top. It's got the app title. I'd imagine.
It's just low fidelity, so you're not going to see the logo. And
No,
like that.
right. Yeah. And then we have a form, a login form that has like a username or an email address or whatever that you would use to log in, and there are 2 fields below that, with sort of hidden hidden input kind of, which I presume would be both passwords. They're both the same. They both have the same number of characters, so presumably it's putting in the password twice.
So we just say that you've already put in the details. Your name is Amy, just for the sake of this. Okay.
Good choice.
Okay, and we have 3 tasks for you there. Okay. So I'm going to read them out, but there's just so you can have a look. They have the 3 tasks there in front of you. So we're just going to get going. These are Okay. So just going to start with the first one here. Okay. What I'm going to do is first one you're just going to log in.
Okay.
So before we get to task, maybe just do a quick narrative of what you're seeing there now that you're logged in.
Okay, so so we have like a menu on the top. We have the word plan, which presumably depends on what plan or what type of subscription you have to the app or something. Then there's probably going to be like some profile picture or something there on the next kind of block. Person's name, their location, and then there are some fields to fill in which like allow you to search for different things. At the foot of the page, then you have different various options, I guess.
What do you expect to see behind those? Without clicking, what do you expect to see behind those?
I guess your favourites would be I presume this is some kind of travel app, so like it's kind of like regular routes that you take, I suppose. Information. I'm not sure whether that would be information on just like about the app, or would that be information like that? Would that be some sort of news feed of like, there's a bus crashed or whatever, or there's a delay in such and such a place? I'm not sure which that would be. The live map would be a map of the city with everything that's all the different buses plotted out on it, where they actually are in real time. And then tabletables would be, I suppose, the scheduled times that they're supposed to be going at rather than real time.
Okay. And what do you expect to see behind the top left burger menu?
Seeing that there's so many options at the bottom, I suppose technically they could be in the menu also, but I wouldn't expect that. I'd expect it probably to be. I'm expecting it to be a short enough menu for just logging out, probably. Maybe settings, things like that.
Cool. Okay, so we're just going to start with the first task. Nearly there, so you're about halfway probably through this. So the first task is it's 10 a.m. Tuesday, January 16th, okay? You're meeting your sister Mary for a shopping trip. Plan your route from 22 Dorset Street, Lower, to Milltown Road, Dundrum. Take the next available bus and get directions. Finally, save this route to your favourites and call it Shopping with Mary.
Okay.
Okay, so first just see if you can find the route.
Okay, so the route is 22.
No pressure at all. We just want to see how you interact with this.
Okay, so we don't know the number of the bus. I saw 22, but I realised that's the address. So we don't know the number of the bus. So we're going to probably go with the live map.
So some of the functions don't work. So
Oh, I see. Right.
So you're just trying to plan your route.
Oh, okay. I see. So I'm
Okay.
actually going to put the
And
address
the
in there.
keyboard doesn't work. Just to let you know for that as well. So you,
Oh,
you
okay.
just need to.
I see. Yeah. So in the first field there, I'm going to obviously put in where I am.
Yeah, well, if you go back to where you were, just
Click on that again. Yeah.
So you can actually click in the box, and it'll fill it for you. Just that the keyboard for the prototype won't work.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're typing that
That
out.
would be a bit too complicated.
And you're looking through the stops.
So you're looking, for the nearest stop near that. So,
And this one here's the nearest one, so I presume you can click that.
Okay, yeah.
And
how did you know that? What made you thought that? Out of interest.
And what made me think?
Yeah, just what made you think that?
That was the.
Yeah.
I suppose I rushed in there maybe.
No,
if this was a real thing.
I'm not saying it's the wrong answer. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I would. You would assume, I suppose, that the one at the top is going to be the nearest one.
Okay, cool.
Where you
That's
are.
great. Go ahead. Yeah, that's correct.
But I suppose in real life you would be physically on the street and thinking, but yeah, you'd imagine the first one is going to be the one you want.
Cool.
So then you're obviously
going to Milltown, Dundrum.
Your destination in the next field. You click on that,
Mm-hmm.
and you start to type your actual destination, and that will come up on a list, I presume, and you select it from there.
Is this all the information you think you need at this stage?
Yeah. So hang on, let me just take that again. So basically, where you're going, it's 10:40 a.m. Right? Okay. So, it's you've got arrival times. Yeah. So you've got the arrival times of the bus. So you would presumably. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused there because.
Okay.
Nearest. What? Yeah. Okay. So you're putting it in the nearest stop. Okay, no, I see what's happening here, right? Okay, so it's the arrival time of various different buses. I'm still not 100% sure how you would know what bus that what you've got on at that stage. I'm guessing that the what I filled in on the first field has somehow gone into memory here, and it's worked out like which bus I'm going to be on or something. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well let's move forward and see if you get the details you need.
And I'm just thinking in terms of. Yeah, in terms of using the Dublin Bus app, I think that's just a step I wouldn't be familiar with, is actually putting in the destination. You'd pretty much just be looking for the direction of the bus, the one that's going north or south or whatever, and if you're going north, you'd get on there, and it wouldn't be thinking about like what time I'm going to arrive and things like that. So that's maybe an extra feature that I wouldn't be used to, yeah. Okay.
Then that's something that you'd like.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, it's kind of, it threw me there because it's just, I am so used to using these type of apps, and the train one is very similar as well. You're not normally thinking about, I guess it's probably just the way Dublin Bus is in terms of, how long journeys take, and they can be different on any given day, that you're just normally thinking, when is the next bus and in which direction, right? Mm-hmm. That's the one that's going to come along, and you get there when you get there, sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of an example like when most of the time I'm taking a route that I'm familiar with, but I have taken at times. Even I remember coming here one time. I took a bus here, and I didn't know the route, so I had to kind of go searching for it and find out where the bus to Dún Laoghaire was going from. I went to D'Lear Street. And I did not think at all about how long it was going to take or anything like that once I got on the bus and I knew I was kind of going in the right way. So that is a good feature. So
what are the exact details that you'd want? So just out of interest.
Well, if I was going somewhere I wasn't familiar with, then certainly having the name of, the way that each stop has a specific name. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just a street name. It can sometimes be a reference to, whatever shop outside it goes outside, like I would want the exact same, especially if I was a foreigner, and I'm thinking like somebody who's not familiar with the city. I would want the exact same destination name that's going to come up on in lights on the bus and often gets announced on the bus. There's no point in it being slightly different or. Do you know what I mean? Just like, for example, Navan Road, right? There's a million stops on Navan Road. So that the stop names that come up and on the announcements have references as to different points along Navan Road. So if I'm like new to the city and I know exactly where I'm going, like I know the name, I've got it written down where I have to get off. If there's 10 stops on Navan Road, like, and I'm going to be saying how long is this going to take and all the rest of it, I want to see all of those stops written and matching completely what's on the GPS.
Well, let's go forward. You might get the information you need as you go forward, but if you don't, just let me know. So you've got the destination.
So we've got the departure destination in there. It's leaving basically in 5 minutes time. So I presume you're going to click now, and it's going to give you it's going to give you all of the different options. You can go in 5 minutes, you can go in 20 minutes, you can go in 35 minutes, I presume. And on the right hand side, it's actually, I think it's giving you the obviously I can see that they're all the same, so it's not saying in 39 minutes time you're going to arrive at your destination. It's actually it's telling you the duration of the trip. So it's the same for each one. Presumably, it also gives you the price, which is really, really handy. That's something I don't think I've seen on the Dublin.
Is that something you'd like?
Yeah, definitely. I think nowadays with the Leave card, I don't think as much about things like that. But I think there are times when you need the cash, or you might not have your card with you, or whatever it is, or you're not sure of your balance. And you think, well, I've got about a £5 left on it, and it's good to know the exact price. Yeah, I think that's, especially for tourists and stuff. I think that's going to be pretty useful. Okay. I've often seen tourists get on the bus and it's very confusing for them when they ask the driver where they're going. Where they're going. And sometimes they're native speakers. They could be British or American people, and they're still pretty confused, or they're surprised. Let's say there's 3 of them get on, and the bus driver says it's €12 or something, and they have to have that in change and coins and stuff like that. And it can be a little bit of a surprise. Maybe they weren't expecting it to be that much and whatever. So I think that's pretty good.
Okay. And what would be, out of interest, what would be most important for you to see, the price or the time that it's going to take?
Well, preferably both. But I suppose if I had to, if it was just one feature, I would probably say the price. Actually, I just can't think of any. I think they may have some fare calculator or something on but it's not really obvious, and it's done it's done with stages or something. You've got to work out how many stages it is and all that kind of stuff. But this is just literally from A to B. This is how much it's going to cost. So that's pretty good, and a new feature as far as I'm concerned. So let's say presumably you want to take the next bus. So that's it there. Okay. So
what do you think there? You think?
Right, that's quite interesting. Yeah. So so we're getting a little map, and we're getting a breakdown of the entire trip.
Yeah, you would.
Of course, I'm not going to be able to scroll through that, of course. Again, I can see the fare again. So, like, if I didn't necessarily notice that the last time, it's there again. That's pretty good. I presume this is going to be like an actual real time map as to where you are.
I don't know how to get rid of that.
Oh,
it's gone.
As to where you are right now. Presumably, it's even factoring in the walking and distance. I've seen similar on some of these apps, but not while you're kind of not while you're actually, let's say, about to get on a bus. That it's literally coming up at this stage. You may do some sort of search at the start to find out or whatever, where your nearest bus stop is or something like that. But that's quite good at this stage, as I'm already realising what bus I need, when it's coming, where the bus stop is in relation to where I am physically at the moment. And now I'm actually at this stage. I know the price, I know everything, I know how long it's going to take. I have pretty much of an idea what time I'm going to arrive. And yet I have this flashing up on the screen, so to remind me of each stage. That's pretty good. I think it's kind of an adaptation of what's there already, but I think it's the point when you see this is an improvement, I think.
Okay. And is there any other thing there that you can click on? Anything else you can do on this?
Get directions. I see that at the foot of the screen. I'm not sure what that would do, because it's telling you. At this stage I would have imagined you've okay. can't remember. Did it show exactly where the bus stop was? I suppose that would be handy for like literally just knowing if you're within walking distance of a bus stop, but not.
Yeah, so you're not clear that that button means get directions.
Yeah.
More directions. Yeah. Okay. So you could try. So that's interesting to know. But just that's the only thing that you can do. The new. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only thing you can do from here.
Right. So. Okay. So the directions.
So
there.
here, obviously, you can't see it, but you would be able to hear. You see that microphone in the top right. It would actually give you a step by step on your trip what landmarks you're passing.
Oh, okay.
And it would tell you then when you get to your destination. See that there.
Yeah. Right. That's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I mean, obviously just trying to envisage the whole thing as opposed to physically doing it on the street, but I guess when I saw get directions, I was thinking, well,
you were thinking you already had directions, were you?
Well, I was thinking, I know the bus stop is 5 minutes away, I know everything about it now, and now I want to walk to the bus stop, but am I on the right side of the street, or, is the bus stop there, is the bus stop there? And that's what I thought the get directions would tell me. Oh yeah, turn left to get to the bus stop.
I suppose, but the idea with this is that what it would do. So you'd have someone, someone would talk to you and say, walk up there, it's on the other side of the street.
Oh, okay, so it wouldn't just be the bus trip, it would be literally getting to the bus stop as well. That's perfect then,
So the idea was that it would be a walkthrough of getting to the bus, and obviously we can't show this in the prototype, but that's the idea.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I see what you mean, yeah. So basically, if I clicked on that, it would say turn left to get to your bus stop. And then the bus comes and you get on the bus and it's telling you you're now on St. Stephen's Green or whatever it is.
And if you go back, then it would still be saying talking to you and stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it would move down throughout this as you went on your trip, so you see all the points.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about earlier on, I'm just trying to think. Are we missing stuff, or is there?
I wouldn't say missing stuff. No. I think you've included things that are already there, but you've kind of let's say. I'm just trying to think now when I'm using Dublin Bus app or even similar type apps. I think this here would be literally, it would be something that you wouldn't really look at again once you get to the bus stop, and it would be kind of gone and be awkward to get to. But it's lovely that that's actually stays on the screen. Like throughout your journey, you can re-access that. So some of those things that are there, they're now much more better positioned, if you like, and they're more prominent maybe and easy to access again. And then there are the things, like I said, that particularly like I suppose the travel time and kind of estimate of what time it'll be when you arrive, the price, all of that's extra stuff as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it is on the Dublin Bus app, but it's not very clear. So yeah, like it seems to have everything. I like this idea of the audio as well. I mean, everybody's kind of hooked up these days with the headphones and all the rest of it. It's again, if you're a tourist and you're going somewhere, you may be going somewhere interesting at your destination, but there may be like really interesting places along the way that if you didn't have something like that, you literally wouldn't know where you are. You'd just be like, all you'd be thinking of is where you're getting off. But it's great that you can kind of maybe take a mental note of, that's somewhere I might want to go to later on or another time. So that's, I think from a tourism point of view, that's bonus stuff, yeah.
Okay. Now the last one on that task, we just want you to save it, basically. Save this route.
Okay, so you have to save it to your favourites, yeah. Am I going to go back here? No. Oh, there's a little heart, yeah.
Yeah, it is the heart. It's just,
okay,
yeah.
It's just, the heart, yeah.
No.
And that's pretty standard.
Just try that again.
It might be because it's... Try it now.
Maybe that one's not clicking.
There it is now.
It's come up straight, yeah.
Okay, great. So, again, when I would use this, say, on the train app, it would literally just save the name of the station, but you can actually customize it yourself. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you can
just save a shopping scenario.
Put a note that's more, customized, more specific to you, and that makes sense. Yeah, click on save, and then presumably when you go into your favorites, it's there. And it's not just the name, like Dorset Street to whatever, because that mightn't mean anything to you, 2 weeks time when you're doing the route again. But shopping with Mary, that's great. Yeah, I think that's an added feature now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. That was actually the longest task. So don't
Oh,
worry.
okay,
The other
cool.
two tasks aren't as long. So I'll just bring you back to the start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there you go. Okay, so the next one is it's now January the 23rd, and you'd like to go shopping with Mary again.
Ah, yes.
Find your saved route from the previous task.
Okay. So I'll straight away see the favourites button. It's very clear here on the bottom.
Okay.
And at this stage, I know to look at the bottom of the screen, and everything is pretty clear. So here we are, shopping with Mary. We have a bunch of different saved routes that are all customised and whatever. Like they've been tagged with personal kind of title. So I presume I'm going to click on shopping with Mary.
Okay, so that's just
And there it is again.
auto-filled the same details for you again. Was that what you were expecting to see there, or?
No. I
No.
think I was probably expecting to be straight in the next screen, I suppose.
Okay.
But I think that's probably a good idea.
Which by the next screen, which screen do you mean?
The screen would kind of have a list of buses. Again, just thinking the train app. If you click on favorites icon and click, let's say, Dunleary, you're just gonna get a list
So
of
the
trains.
next screen. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting to know.
So that's handy enough. Just
Okay. That's
in
great.
case there was some slight change or whatever that you wanted to put in, I suppose. But yeah, that's cool.
Great. Okay, so the final task now. This is a great feedback so far. You have an early start on Monday. It's a slightly different task, as you have an interview. Okay. All you want to do in this task is you want to identify a bus. So you want to know the 7A. So you want to look at the 7A and what time the first 7A leaves. The very first one in the early morning leaves Mountjoy Square. That's all you're trying to find out.
Right. Again, from experience and all the rest of it, I would imagine that this is more looking at timetables. Excuse me. So you're not looking at this sort of on the day, or even you're not looking at it. You're not looking to get on the next bus, and you're not even looking to get on the bus that day. And presumably this is the night before, or something like that.
Yeah.
A week, days before. So I'd imagine this time we're going to go for timetables. It's a 7A bus, right? So this time I'm actually searching for a bus number, the 7A. So you want to click on the routes at the top.
So that's just auto-filled for you.
And you've got the list of buses, obviously A, B, C, D, or whatever it happens to be. It's the A, isn't it, that I want? Yeah, so I'm clicking on that one. And we have the Monday to Friday times. I presume if you clicked on that, you'd have the Saturday times and then the Sunday times. Again, you got fares as well, which is really cool. You can detail the route. That's excellent. And all we need to know is the earliest one. Is that right? So the earliest one would be 6 o'clock.
Okay,
so
great.
If I click on that.
Yeah, no, that's it. You've completed the task. Just out of interest, what would you expect this arrow to do here?
The arrow up here.
Yeah, it's not functional. What would you expect that to do?
Interesting. I was going to say that it might click on the 7, bring you up to 7B and then 7C and whatever, but then presumably if that was the case, there would be one on the other side going the other way, and that wouldn't really make much sense anyway, I don't think. I would imagine that. No, I don't know actually. I'm just thinking it now. It's not going to give you real time.
Okay, that's interesting to know.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, we've already got the
What
wrong
actually is
time
that for?
That's actually to swap over. So if you go in the opposite way,
okay,
yeah, maybe it's not really clear enough.
I wonder would would one arrow going this way and one arrow going that way be something like that?
Yeah, I think you're probably
Something along those lines. Yeah, that's quite handy.
right. Okay.
Actually, yeah. Can I go back?
Yeah, try going. Where do you want to get to?
Okay, yeah. So why does it say from Mountjoy Square towards Loughlinstown and not from Loughlinstown towards Mountjoy Square? What? No, it doesn't.
So you'd expect to see.
I would expect to see non-bias on the direction, if that makes sense. And so
Okay.
I'm not talking about class warfare or anything like
No,
that.
no, no.
But just an assumption that that you could be that like that there isn't a priority going one way over another. So I think what I would expect to see there is, if I think of the train app, for example, if I click on Dún Laoghaire, I have northbound and southbound to choose from. I think it actually, in fairness, it actually probably does. It does give one screen first by default. So, like, let's say you're going southbound, it may automatically put up the northbound trains, but it's a tab, so it's very easy to toggle between them. That just seems a little bit like, what if I was going the other way? I would think, well, that's not my route there. That's not
okay.
So I'd be kind of going, well, what do I like? And probably eventually I would realise, oh, well, there isn't any other option, so it must be somewhere in here, but it's not immediately obvious. I wonder.
So what are you suggesting then? You suggesting?
I'm wondering. So let me see. Click on that. I see. Yeah. I'm wondering, would you either it probably wouldn't be a good idea to have sort of 7 and then 7 again with the opposite, then 7A, 7A, 7B, 7B. I don't think that would really. You could do it like that, but it would obviously make the list a bit longer. And then straight away I would see 2 7As there, and I would figure out which way I'm going and get straight into the direction I want. Or you could maybe do something similar, like have Mountjoy Square and have like a double arrow of some sort, something like that, so that it would you were basically saying, this is the route number, regardless of direction. This is the route number. Click on this. This is what you want.
Yeah.
And then you go in, and then somehow up here there's maybe it's more like 2 tabs or something, from here, from A to B, from B to A, something like that.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. That's great feedback. Any other questions you have for us? That was a final task.
That was a final task. The colours. Why did you go for those colours?
That's just the prototype thing. So we don't want you to have any. If we had a kind of high thing between different things, you kind of look at black and stuff and all these different things like blue and stuff, and you get distracted by those stuff instead of actually doing what we're actually looking for.
Right. If you were going into production,
once you go into production, then you can start to bring in the colours and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, because I actually kind of like the colours. I don't know whether it is, but I kind of liked it. It's fairly. This kind of sounds like neutral. Maybe isn't the right word, because it sort of sounds like it has no impact at all. But I mean, yeah, they're complementary colours, and they sort of I don't know, I think they wouldn't offend anyone, or they wouldn't the sort of the neutral effect on people's emotions or whatever it is, because it's kind of light blue. Yeah,
that's probably why they were picked by XD. Okay.
And obviously, if you have a branding or whatever, you'd have to change it, I suppose. But no, that was good. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Thanks
so much.
Thank you.
Just go back and yeah. Thanks so much. That was really good help. If we can find out where to.
Looks good though, Jack. Yeah.
To stop this.